Hello and welcome back to A Slightly Twisted Female. I'm your host today. This is part two of the TERF Pride in July, a recent protest and community unity event held in New York City. It was amazing, and I'm on the line right now with head organizer VF555. I was really lucky and honored to have her invite me to step up and be a co-organizer. It was a great experience. And I do want to just say, VF, the way that you stepped up as a leader for this really, I mean, you really showed your capability to, put on an event to sort of push through when things are falling apart, and like I said to you in person, I won't hesitate to work with you in the future. You really came through, and it turned out to be a really great time. So thank you.
Well, thank you for stepping up. I mean, there's really supposed to be a whole community of like leaders that I was working with, and I'm just like, I really wanted to share this with everybody,
Wow.
I had no goals of like this being it's my vision, yes, but I didn't want it to be like I was doing it with you. Even though I welcomed you, I wanted you to be guests, actually.
Right. Well, you know what? It's all good. I had a lot of fun doing it. And, as we were saying, this really, I believe, was a historical.
It was meant for us to be the ones doing it. I know this.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's how the universe works in its own time. Like you and I wanted to hang out and, meet for a long time, and it always kind of got messed up. And it's like the universe knew something that we didn't, that, the time was coming.
I knew we'd always work together. I was always there. I was like, definitely, we are a team in some capacity. Like I knew this.
And we were laughing too because for anybody who's been like following the channel long enough, probably remembers like the massive like shitstorm between me and VF555. I was like, this lady's really got.
That's how we started. But you also were true trans back then.
I was like, this lady's got me effed up. We fought on underneath one of my videos for like 3 days straight. No one could get a word in.
We were both like, we don't need backup. We were both going to war.
It was back and forth. We were like ripping each other's throats out. And then look at us now,
Yeah.
Made a big comeback. So,
there's other highlights, but hey.
Yeah. And but I really believe that I really do believe that this was a historical event, whether we realize it or not. I do believe that this will continue year after year and it will grow. One of the things that like some of the trends have been like making fun of us, like, oh yeah, dozens of people showed up, like basically saying this, like, of course it needed to start off as a small nucleus, And don't get it twisted. I said there are people all over the world who are tuning in, watching, and cheering this on.
It only takes a few to start the movement. That's how Pride started. Duh.
Yeah, dummy.
So they don't know this.
And look at it. Pride now is, across the entire world. All it takes is a handful of concerned citizens who come together, and we just blaze that first trail. Now there's a blueprint. Now it exists.
Now there's permission. Now we prove that we can do this in New York. You can do it anywhere. There's no excuses anymore not to be able to speak to normies and say, hey, this needs to be addressed, right. Now.
And get together and proudly wear our adult human female t-shirts and our TERF Les t-shirts and our TERF in USA. Oh, and for a lot of people have been asking me about my t-shirt, where I got it. Go to Jennifer Thomas, so J Thomas on let's see, on Twitter, she's RevFem Street Beat, so REV. I'll put the links in, but I'll show you where to get it. Also, a lot of women have been saying, how can I get involved? The best way I can tell you to get involved is get in touch with Connie Hahn. She is the hub. She's amazing. She is she's who found me. She's the reason I do street activism. She found my channel and said, hey, you're in Pennsylvania. We need someone in Pennsylvania. Would you be willing to come and do a speaker's corner? Or no, come
find your local women who are doing this. Whoever you know that's close to you, start working with them. Just reach out. Everybody wants to have more women come out.
So but for people who really I would say the first step, the very first step.
That will help you find that organizer.
Get in touch with Connie Hahn and she will add you to a mailing list. So on Twitter, she is CNNHAHN. and I'll put that link too. That's
or you could join FEMAX. FEMAX will connect you with women.
That's also what I was going to say. FEMAX is another great great resource for information about upcoming. And do you have anything else that you can think of? FEMAX is a great one.
WRN. I mean, they're connected.
Right. Right. Yeah, I think even just starting, WRLM, FEMAX, and Connieheim, I think is where you can start. And from there, you'll get plugged into the signal groups and other things like that.
At least for the American TERFs. I don't know about, like the UK or, otherwise.
Right. And please know, we don't own this movement. We're not, no one has to ask permission to set up a speaker's corner. If you have a handful of friends.
3. I've done maybe, these events with 3 women. It really doesn't need a whole army.
Right.
We proved that you could just get signs from CVS and make them yourself and make an event.
Absolutely. You can get t-shirts and get some Sharpies and put it together. I mean, you can, if somebody has an internet connection and a smartphone, you can make sure it gets online, and go from there.
I know people that stream you, like, regardless, you want to have an event, we can make it happen and it can be seen.
Right. Helena Blavatsky says you could talk to Fred Sargent. I'm not sure who that is, but that might be another one.
He is a gay man that was at Stonewall. He was one of the last survivors. It will tell you that he was started by a lesbian.
Oh, wow.
And that these men that had been given credit, they actually were pimps. And they were not there. They were busy doing drugs. They were pimps. They used to pimp out the gay youth. This is, of course, why they were elevated. It's so disgusting and deceiving.
Wow. What do you know about the beginning of Pride?
Well, I know that the riot, it wasn't a riot. It was like cops were raiding the place, and Stormy said, "Hey, are you going to do anything about this?" to the men. And there was a pushback because they were sick and tired of getting arrested for being gay.
Wow. Yeah, it's really, really, and that's why, again, so to the person who said that we're appropriating the term pride, please, with all due respect, get educated on your history.
It's about homosexuality. That was why they were raiding the club. And it was about anything else. It was not about this trans nut. No, it was about being homosexual.
Right. And the forced teaming, and actually, while we're on here, I want to read out loud the press release we have put together that just to explain too sort of why it's important that we're centering lesbian women. So I had said TERF Pride New York City on Saturday, on Saturday and Sunday, July 22nd and 23, gender critical women from all across the country will take to the streets of New York City to speak up against gender ideology. Our aim is to reclaim gay pride for homosexual women and to push back against the forced teaming with trans and queer community, whom are in direct contradiction to LGBT pride. So again, it's about taking back something that belonged to women and homosexuals and especially lesbian women from the beginning.
Like the word woman, or like our vaginas, which are now front holes. Are we supposed to accept that? Are we supposed to give away everything and then we're appropriating if we want to use our own terms?
Right.
It's ridiculous.
Right. That's like saying, oh, well, you should choose another word other than woman, because it's appropriating it from No.
You can only accept yourself as a cis woman because they're redefining you so they can include themselves as women. You're like a subcategory of woman now, but they're the actual thing. They can call themselves a woman all they want.
Right. And you can't question it. You can't. Right. So it's important. That's why, and for people who think, well, why can't we just use the term cis? It's not a derogatory. It's just saying that you're, who you feel as you don't have gender dysphoria, or who you are assigned at birth. And exactly what VF just said, it puts women as a subcategory of their own identity, which is insane.
And as a limited box of behaviors that you cannot break out of. If not, you're a man.
Right. The fact that you actually had somebody trying to tell you that you're really a trans man while you're telling them, no, I'm not, it is so telling and sad. And you were an adult when that happened. Now imagine if you're a confused...
I was in my 20s.
Right. But imagine if you were a confused child going through puberty and you're literally being told, no, because, you dress not gender non-conforming, it actually means that you're a trans man.
As a child, I would have bought that. And my parents would have bought this whole thing if it was like a threat of suicide. And they were very scared of me being gay. They wanted to put me in modeling school and try to undo that. But
Right.
if they were told that I could be a boy and like they could celebrate me as a boy, they would have fucking signed up for this shit.
Well, and you're Cuban, and my ex-husband is Dominican, and their family's, very like, I mean, it's not even the family, it's culturally, it's very socially
Mm-hmm.
conservative. It's very rooted in Catholicism. And my former sister-in-law is a butch lesbian. She's married to a woman. I don't think she's ever been with a man ever in her life. She always played basketball, has always been a tomboy. And same thing with her. I can't imagine had this been happening. Her family at first was really upset when they found out that she was gay.
Right. Give them their option where they're the heroes and they get a gold star and like, they're celebrities now.
Right, right. And then you could and that's what's going on in Iran, is that, it's illegal to be homosexual, but if you can trans away the gay, this is why it is a direct threat to homosexual women and men and everything.
And it comes in the way of expense of your orgasms too. Why would you even want to, like, you don't want to have gay sex if you're not going to orgasm. It's painful if it's going to like cause all this trauma.
Right. Could you imagine, one of the saddest, I don't know, did you ever watch my one video where it's like the most watched video on my channel? It's just a bunch of clips of detransitioners talking about sort of regret and things like that. And one of the clips.
Yeah, I did watch that. I watched the more.
The one that makes me cry to this day is the one detrans woman who is like, I just wish I could have my breasts back. You could tell she's trying to be stoic, and she's like, I feel like there's a range of pleasure and things now that I miss and that I'm never going to get to experience with, a female partner. And I wish I could give that to my partner, and I wish I could give it to myself. It was so sad.
Right. It gets in the way of the whole lesbian thing. Like,
sex is such an integral, important part of being, forget Lisa.
And you don't want it to hurt.
No.
You don't want it to hurt to be touched. Like, come on.
Right. Oh, and like, I can tell you, as somebody who has had surgeries from cancer, when you cut into the flesh, that feeling does not come back in many cases. And sometimes it does, but it's not the same.
Their arm flesh is not going to have a sexual sensation to begin with. But then again, it's not even like from your arm. You're going to paste it somewhere else. And you think you're going to feel something sexual? That is the biggest lie that's ever been sold. I'm sorry. All these Asians are just straight up liars.
Right, right. An arm skin tube. And then could you imagine, as a woman like me, as like a bisexual woman, right? So, I have sex with men and women. So like for me, it's like putting one of those in my vagina. Like,
I can imagine that. I think all the women that date them, I know somebody who dates one of them and told me that she never touched that thing.
Yeah, could you imagine? I can't imagine it being. Are there any studies about the safety of the women who are receiving end of one of those things?
Well, they also have to risk the T-gel. Like, if they're on the T-gel, it's not just on me. It's whoever I touch or hug or anything. Like, right. There's so many complications with just even that.
Oh, my God. Oh, God, could you imagine? Yeah, if someone says X and God knows how it feels. Ew. And it probably, like, is... Because the thing is, the way there's, like, a rod in there, and it pumps it up.
Some of them put it in sleeves. Like, they put it in these little sleeves. Like, it's a thick condom, so they could actually squeeze that in there. It's so weird.
And we don't know how this might threaten. I mean, again, the vagina is such a beautifully created organ. It's such a beautifully developed organ that it's self-cleaning, it's self-maintaining, and it has a very it has a balance, a biome that is in a
these things are always infected, and they don't even pee right. So, there's always a little bit of piss in those little things. Do you really want that to enter you while you're... No.
And there's a rod, and the rod can sometimes exit, come out, and I can't imagine, it probably scrapes you and things. I mean, it's...
First of all, you saw that and you're still down, you're a fetishist. I'm sorry. I don't think any normal woman would be looking at that and be like, hey, let's continue.
You're either a fetishist or you're so overly trapped in your empathy to the point of like being toxic, that you're not even able to set a boundary and say, no, this is dangerous and disgusting. You just keep going along with things that you know don't feel normal. But that's so much of what this movement does from the very beginning. If it can get you to deny a fundamental, clear truth of reality, it can get you to go along with anything at some point.
It's that partner that's going to lie and say it was the best thing ever. I mean, there are those women out there, but I know they're lying. I know that just cannot. It can have friction to be doing the job. There's just no way.
Yeah, it's really, really sad. And it's like, I can't imagine, but as a young woman, there's already not a lot of blueprints for, non-heteronormative sex, and women aren't really, so it's like so much of it is about discovery and vulnerability. And then when you're starting off from a place of being hacked up and it's just such a hack job, and it's these surgeons who are just making it up as they go along, like what a sad way to enter into, your sort of like divine sexuality. I can't.
They're so detached from it all. It's just really, it's an excuse to be like, don't touch me, or I'm into pain. Like,
yeah.
Those are the two options, I think.
Self-flagellation, it's just this sort of, it's the manifestation of just like a self-hatred, and you destroying, because it's your sexuality that makes you feel alienated. So you go and you destroy your sexed body, and now it's like you're just sit there and you're just just like mutilated.
Think of Ellen. She went from having a celebrity wife and having all these sexual experiences that she brags about to hanging out with her dog.
Yeah, Ellen Page. Yeah. It's really, really
she's
sad.
Rich, she's famous, and now she's going to be very lonely.
And let me just say one thing that I want to repeat over and over and over and over again, as many times as I need to say it. I'm sorry, but like, screw people like Lisa Michelle and everybody else who looks down on women who have a sexuality, and who basically have this like hatred for women who engage in their sexuality. Female sexuality is a force of nature that creates so much beauty. It creates life. It creates love, healing, bonding, connection. We are the source of so much just beauty and peace, and so much of that springs from a healthy female sexuality.
Women isn't the problem. Women are not the problem.
Right.
Regardless.
Yeah. We don't do all this weird stuff. It's, male sexuality that usually goes off the rails. And to see women absolutely deserve to enjoy sex, to enjoy their bodies, to feel
they should discover their own bodies before they're even with somebody else, and like understand their own pleasure.
Thank you. Do you know how many women do you know I had one of my best friends, and I like, not even to call her out, but was married for like 12 years, had 2 children. When she went through a divorce, she confided in me that she's never had an orgasm before.
I know women that worked at a strip club that would not even put in a tampon themselves because they're afraid of touching themselves.
Wow. It's so heartbreaking. And the idea that like the female orgasm is a myth. Women need to learn that masturbation is okay, that touching your bodies is okay, that feeling
it's pleasure. It's supposed to feel good.
It's supposed to feel good.
It's for you. It's not for somebody else.
And that's the thing. And I think that when people go and get a penis and thing, they think that they're, now I can get the women that I want, right? I can be this thing. I also do think that maybe rejection plays a large role, for men and women.
Gallagher flirts with the customers. She's looking at these 2 girls that want a woman like her, a little Barbie, successful, and she's flirting with them.
She's sick. No, you're so right on that. You're so on the money with that.
Yeah.
The way that she behaves, it's so predatory. So we're talking about Gallagher. She's based in Miami. She's a gender medicine surgeon. She's responsible for the destruction of so many healthy young bodies. History will look back at her the way that they looked at some of these Nazi surgeons and doctors.
She is that. She's Frankenstein as a female. This is my mission. And when I come back to Female First Florida, it's going to be launched going after her again. So I hope you really join me for that.
I would love to.
I am definitely coming after her every year until she's locked up.
Yeah, we want to do like a surf and turf in Miami where we can go protest these horrific surgeons. That'll be so much fun. And then like go be on the beach and have fun. And that's another thing too. And I want us to normalize making these,
protest and party.
Making these TERF events fun, because again, it's the balance of doing work and doing things that are hard and pushing through things, but also enjoying our lives a little bit, having fun, being together, being
We're allowed
surrounded
to have
with women.
pride and be women. We're allowed to celebrate that we're on the right side. We need to stop the shame about being associated with other people. We have to have our own thing, you know?
Totally. Have some fun and do fun things. All right, let's take another peek of some of the stuff that we were doing.
Human, female, homosexual. That is the only definition of a lesbian. Lesbians don't do dick. No child is born in the wrong body. We won't trans the gay away. No child is born in the wrong body.
Look at Fluff.
Feminine gay men do not need to be girls to be okay with who they are. Tomboys do not need to have their breasts cut off. They were born beautifully and fearfully as they should be. Blockers before Tanner puberty stage 2. Do not let them brainwash your children. Don't ever call me sis. I am an adult human female, period.
Look, and right here, oh, look at Fluff. Good old Fluff. Him and I were battling like the entire time.
Oh, I know.
Poor VF. I was like,
I'm a man hater. I generally don't like men. I know
you had to separate us.
Exactly. Oh, like, this is a little awkward.
You were like, I was like, leave him on the floor. You're like, you want to come back up? Poor Fluff. So this here is Fluff. And he and I battled the entire time. But he was great. You know, how him and I like started hanging out, you know, he had watched a lot of my channel when we first met. And you know how he got my attention was he started like quoting stuff from my channel. I was like, oh my God, you really watch my videos. So he's so quiet, and it was really cool to see him come out and support us. And he said that, you know, he'll definitely be there for us again. But it's like, you know, anyone can do this, guys, you know? I mean, we're no one special. We're not like the TERF chair. We're just regular women who decided that we couldn't stand idly by anymore. And like
every woman has an obligation and a right to this, because we own womanhood. It's not like something that any woman is denied. It is us. We are the experts. We are the authority of what is a woman.
We are.
We don't need a man debating this.
We are. You're right. We are the experts. You know, so who gives you the authority? We do. We what are you talking about? You know?
Exactly. You have no clue, dude.
Yeah.
And if you have to debate this with men, you have no respect for women.
Oh, they're saying that they think Gallagher might have left Florida after the Ron DeSantis law. I don't know.
No. She's still practicing.
Oh, yeah, they said she's still.
As long as she has an office, we're going to protest it.
And she's not the only one out there. I mean, it's becoming the fact that Miami in general is such like a plastic surgery hub. I'm sure there's going to be more and more gender
because they cannot sue them. They cannot sue for like malpractice. She doesn't even have insurance for them to sue.
That's crazy. That's really.
They can't touch her assets, her house in Florida. They're protected. That's why they choose Florida.
Wow. No, we should really hit the ground running, like researching stuff about that. We could even do that, you know, that doesn't even have to be like during like a peak time. We could do that, you know, around.
Oh yeah.
I'm excited. I really want to do that. So like, you know, and guys, like for people who are like, oh, how do I get involved? What can I do? You know, it's grab a group of women, print out some photos of, you know, top surgery or something, you know, go down to, you know, or go to your local school
gender clinic.
Go to your local gender clinic. Go to your local Planned Parenthood who's giving out, you know, wrong sex hormones to children without parental consent.
Your library. Find out when there's these gender events and be there and like protest.
Absolutely. Or even just go and listen and start to understand, you know, what their strategies are, and so that you can go and, you know, whatever
you're good at. If you're good at writing letters, I mean, it takes all types in this movement. Everyone doesn't have to be as loud and as, you know, hardcore as you and me. You know,
one thing that people need to understand, the women that you see on the camera, that's only the tip of the iceberg about who is involved in planning. There are a lot of
right.
women who don't like having their faces shown, who are very much involved in behind the scenes. They're helping writing press releases. They're getting together media lists. You know, they're printing out signs. They're coming out. You're getting
They're
stickers.
teaching us. They're telling us what, you know, what's going on.
Absolutely. So there is a place for every adult human female has a place in this movement. You know, you just gotta create it.
All your stories are important, like your struggles. These are stories of women, and we need them to be heard.
Oh, Susie
Not
Glucksman
silent.
says she has Gallagher has a YouTube channel that I've unfortunately watched. She has moved, but maybe just from that Miami office. I wonder if she moved because, you know, VF555 during the Posey Parker tour protested outside of her office. I wonder if that was part of it.
The next day, she took herself off of Google Maps, so it could have been that decision. We could have been the breaker of that decision.
Wow. Definitely, probably. I'm sure it factored in because they're like, oh, they're gonna start coming for me. Look at Fluff.
Period. We're starting a new pride.
Fluff.
You can have that.
This is Fluff. Everybody's like, who's that guy? I'm like, he's Fluff. The Fluff of hell. he and I bicker so much, but he's still my Fluff. Okay.
Woo! We are out, human females. No woman has a penis ever. Period.
Hey, people take pictures of us.
Yeah. We got more attention
paying
than
attention.
the actors.
I
We're
look
costume kids.
gross. That's okay. All right. Who knows where we're going?
Did you notice when we were okay? Hold on.
TERF.
So when we were in Times Square, hold on, wait. When we had gone into Times Square, did you notice the girl who looked a little loony troony standing there with her family?
There was a lot of Looney Tunes, so which one are you talking about?
Okay, so I'll show you. When we were standing, there was she looked like she was probably like in her early 20s, like maybe in college or something, and she had like dyed pink hair and clearly was like looked like she was probably like a trans man or non-binary. I bet you she was like non-binary or something. And she was there with her family. It looked like that they were like from out of town, probably like, you know, doing touristy stuff. And as we were talking and saying stuff, she had this like tail between her legs look on her face. And everyone in her family was kind of staring at her with this like,
because they know
they're probably like
they should be guiding her.
She's probably sat there and like educating them on how not to be transphobes and is constantly talking down to them about like all the stuff that she's learned on TikTok, you know, and acts like this big authority on gender and talks them like they're idiots. And they've probably all been like, listen, this is whatever. And it was, I guarantee you, it's like everything we were saying like validated what they must have been telling her. I would bet money that is exactly like what was going on. I could just feel it because it looked like it was so awkward for all of them, but they kind of like the one of the guy, like her looked like her brother, looked like he had like a smug little look being like, yeah, like,
right.
We told you this is dumb, you know? Hold on for one second.
Somebody has to say it to them. Somebody outside of their family, they can emotionally guilt trip, you know? No. You can't do that with us.
And I think that's a powerful thing. You're absolutely right because they're able to get away with sitting there and gaslighting and talking down to people in their family.
And crying.
Yeah. You know, and it's like, oh man, we're already running out of time. Damn, that was fast. Yeah, but it was like, you know, but to hear it from an outside source that's not them. So all the reasons she can't sit there and say, oh, you're just trying to control me or you're just saying that because you're this and that. It's like, now, see, look, we're not even saying it, you know? And the thing is, most people have never heard someone say trans women are men. And it's like, you could see it, like, people were like, oh my God, like, whoa, like, they were kind of giggling, because it's like, oh my God, somebody's saying it.
Well, I know this, because I can't, you know, I guess I'm older than you, but, you know.
Yeah.
This is just self-explanatory. They are men.
Yeah.
It's a male experience.
And it's kind of liberating, I think, when, like, you know, someone can hear somebody saying it out loud. So it says that it's gonna we're like running out of time. Let's just quick look at another clippy here. love that. You look so cute.
All trans women are men. Every trans woman is a man.
That's VF,
So yeah,
by
we
the
can do
way.
part 3 on stones.
Yeah, that's a good idea. For anybody who doesn't, who didn't see the thing, this is VF. Hold on, right here. Wait,
Thank you.
right here. Woo! You were great. I'm really proud of you, and I love your.
We had a great time. It was a wonderful event. I'm so proud of us and the whole team. It really was a team effort. I want everyone to know that. Thank everybody who made this a success.
It really was. And just for the women who show up, it's such a big thing to come. You know, some people, it's so much easier to just kind of like hang back and do things on the internet. But that's why it's so important that we take to the streets and that we do in-person stuff, that we really engage with you know, the people in the world, because people who aren't tuned into this, you know, and they're suddenly now met with this message that they've never.
Who do you go to? Go to TERF Mom, which is Sovereign Women Speak. Maria, like, she's taking me under her wing and like really helped me. She works with women for like annually. She does an event, and they've been working this for a while, you know.
And there are women all over the country, and so many people are saying, "Oh, I wish there was TERFs in my city." And trust me, there are. You know, just you guys.
Most normies are TERFs if you talk to them.
Yeah,
talk to them.
Yeah, there's TERFs who don't even know that they're TERFs out there. They just know that this is dumb, and they don't realize that there's a word for how they feel. You know.
Gotta destigmatize it. Everyone is a TERF. I don't care who you are.
Right.
Even if you're bisexual, you don't want no mutilated junk. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. Yeah, nature is a TERF. You know, exactly all of this. You know, and it was a really fun experience, and we're definitely, for everybody, we are definitely doing, this is going to be an annual thing. I don't care. We're doing Pride July.
We're making it happen
every single year. I'm so excited. I can't wait. You know, I'm already looking for, like, thinking about what we want to do next year. Look at Fluff. Look at Fluff.
We'll bring it to you.
Let's all take a look at, there's Fluff. That ended up being such like a funny little tripod, like you, me, and Marcus.
What a group. It
was such like I know, it's such like a funny like mixture of people. Oh, poor Fluff.
And see, there's something that don't offend me like instantly. Like, I'm telling you, there's other men I have problems with that. He's all right.
No, he is. He's really peaceful.
Yeah.
He's like, so, you know.
If not, I would called it out and I would have told you, like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, I figured. Well, that's what I figured. I was like, if you weren't down with it, we would have figured something out. I could have, like, put him on the floor somewhere or something.
Fine.
So I'm really glad it worked out. And I really appreciate everything you did to, like, get us a place. But, yeah, there she is.
It was a wonderful experience.
Yay. It's really good, though, to have a man. Because remember when the one drunk guy came up? It's really important to have, like, I don't want to put women.
No, I agree. As long as they're there to be like bodyguards and do their job, I'm fine with it.
And we always say, men, your job is not to fight, not to push, not to do anything. Just your presence is enough. Stand there in a strong presence, you know, because I don't want to put another woman, make that be her job to stand between, you know, the rest of the women and some crazy man. No, men need to police men, you know, let them do it. So
physically, that's the way the fight works. I mean, unless you want to bring a gun into this, right. I don't want to have to shoot someone. So
right. And I've noticed one thing about Troons: they are extremely cowardly, and they love going after women in ways that they would never go after men. Look at Fluff.
They go to the most vulnerable women. They're gonna go after the grandma who they know is, or someone who they know is like disabled. They fucking go for the weak. They don't even go. They didn't come to you. You know, like, oh yeah, on your own.
Oh no, they don't ever bother me. And you know, it's so funny, unless there's a whole shitload of them, and then there's men in there, then they'll come for me. But it's funny because they always go after either like some like little girl, some woman who's kind of meek, you know, who's you can tell.
I go to a club with a bunch of Troons, and trust me, they all know I'm a transphobe. They try to get me thrown out. I still own the mosh pit. They know I have all the metalheads on my side, and still, I go and I just smile and I tell them out. I go, "You're wearing the PDO colors." I tell them straight the fuck up.
Good.
Never touch me.
Good. Yeah. No, they know who to mess with. I mean, but that's the hallmark of a predator. A predator knows how to assess who's an easy target and who's not.
And then they could scare all women into silence, even though, see, they do it online. So you think you can't go out into the real world and say these things.
Right.
But the truth is you can't.
Right.
We proved it.
Right. Exactly. You don't have, Zuckerberg or, Twitter to come, to the rescue and have us removed. Sorry, it's not that easy. And
they can't control a bunch of bots to outnumber us. They really, unless you give them an address and tell them when, they're a lazy army. They're not going to outsmart you. They're not going to get their, they barely can afford the change most times, like to the park. No, they're not going to. Only if they outnumber you, you ever got to worry about anything. No, and the cops give them permission, because if not, they won't do shit.
It's so true. It's such a good point. It really, really is that, that's why you go and you just go and stand. You know what I mean? And you get a good group around you. Get one, dependable man who's not gonna not gonna. One thing men need to know: you are never there to escalate the violence. You are never there. Or
in the group, or tell the women how to run their shit. I'm just like, you're just there to help the women.
Yeah. Oh no, Judy C. Listen, I don't mean. I'm not talking about when there's a huge mob. Because Judy C. said that's not true. Kay Yang is tough as fuck, and the dude pulled her hair and pulled her head back. Oh no. That's what I'm saying, though, because it's when they don't feel threatened. So if it's a one-on-one type thing, but when they know that you're so outnumbered, then they'll do it. Absolutely. That happened to me in Philadelphia.
Oh, yeah, of course.
They came
Especially
after
when the
me.
cops will leg you. The cops there fucking watch that shit. What are you talking about? In Florida, that would never happen. You have more troons in Florida, and they're crazy. They're like all fetishy and shit. But none of them will have that fucking feeling that they could just do that.
Yeah.
This is a woke state. It depends. The blue states, they do. So I would not go into a woke state and try them where they are at.
Right.
Or tell them where you're gonna be. Don't do that.
And I do really believe in just defending yourself. Keep mace on you. I know that people like Karadansky and there's some other people in this movement who are highly against self-defense.
That's their right, their personal right, but I have a personal right to protect myself and my ladies. I will never just sit back and crawl up into a ball.
Look at these two women here. These were two, I think they were two lesbians who were being thank you so much. We totally agree. Hold on, look at this. Because we saw them down by Bryant Park. They followed us over to come shake our hands, which is really nice.
They go for this all the time.
It's nice because for people who haven't been tuned in to the online TERF communities, for them to see this in person, it's like, wow, there's people who are, this is why the in-person engagement is so
care
important.
About lesbians. They don't have to fight this all themselves.
Right, exactly. We're here for you. We're all here for each other. That's why, we center somebody different every time. One time I want to do one for, mothers in terms of the birthing community. We center lesbians. We're centering, older disabled women when we were fighting for Julie Jaman, the YMCA, and children,
All women unite. It's our rights and our combined experience and make up womanhood.
Right. And we all can understand, even if I'm not a lesbian, even if VF is not a mother, there's still so much within us that, VF's a daughter, VF has a mother, VF has a grandmother.
I do so much for my mother.
So we're all connected to each other's experience. I might not be a lesbian, but I'm bisexual. But I know other women. I know what it's like, and we can feel and know these experiences, even if they're not ours. So it just ended our Zoom. So VF is off. We're gonna do a part 3 on Stone the Crone, which I'm really excited. But let's just look a little bit more of this last piece of video.
As we would like to live ours. Sir, if you like the trans woman, it's fine. You don't gotta convince everyone it's a real woman. It's a man, and you're probably gay. It's 2023. It's all good. Women do not have penises, unfortunately for you and your comrade.
So look, this woman right here had come.
Woo! Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, you're on live stream too. Say something. Hey. Woo! Hello. We got some solidarity with our sisters here. Yes. Lesbians don't do dick.
missed you. I missed you, Judy C.
That's right.
It was just
Live
really
your
cool.
truth here in Times Square.
So we took Times Square. It was just really cool to see other women excited to see us, you know, other women who were like, wow, tell us more. And, you know, wow, we totally agree. And lesbians in particular, you know, there were a lot of people who were like nodding and kind of clapping as they'd walk by because, again, the reality is we're right. We're right. We're on the right side of this period. And any, you know, person who is intellectually honest sees and acknowledges that. So, you know, it is, let's see. Yeah, it was a really, really important experience. So, for anybody, again, for anybody who's asking, how do I get involved? You can, anyone can start a speaker's corner. Anyone can start a direct action. All you need is, you know, one or two other women with you. And, but for, you know, a more concrete way to start, Connie Hahn has the most comprehensive mailing list. She has a newsletter where she keeps everybody informed about events that are going on. If you have an event and you want people to come to it, she'll put it in the newsletter. She'll make sure that you get people. Make sure you have Signal downloaded. Signal is usually how we do our groups to organize these things. Contact Connie on Twitter. She is CNNHAHN. Let me, I'm going to write that down on here so you can see it. Hold on. Connie Hahn at CNNHAHN. Go on Twitter and contact her. I know it's backwards, but you guys are going to have to work with me a little bit. A little bit. Also, FEMAX, FEMAXX News. FEMAX News also has a great mailing list. Also, FEMAX News, FEMAX, oh my God, why am I drawing a blank? Who runs FEMAX, guys? And I'm apologies to her because I know her name and I'm brain dead. Guys, I'm so bad with names in general. I'm so shot out. The lady who does FEMAX, I know who it is, and I'm going to remember her name the second I get off the stream, and I'm going to feel so dumb. She's awesome. She has a Zoom group every Thursday. That's another way to get involved. Get involved in the Zoom groups. Reach out to Connie. Reach out to FEMAX News. Get into the groups. And it's great because it's a standing date. Every single Thursday, women gather. It's at 7 p.m. at night, I think. You hop on the Zoom call, and everybody just talks about stuff that's going on. If somebody is starting an event and needs some support or they need to be connected with other women, you get on one of these Zoom calls, and we'll help get you to the right place. You know, we'll help get you some women there. We'll help publicize it. You know, if you have something scheduled, you already have a permit, you have a date set up, go to Connie. She'll make sure that it's on the mailer. Okay, this stuff it's doable. You don't have to have a YouTube channel to do this. You don't have to have 10,000 plus subscribers on Twitters to do this. You don't have to have had to been to a whole bunch of them. I would suggest coming and volunteering to be a supportive organizer on one of these events so that you can kind of learn the ropes. It is helpful, you know, but we can also help you with a blueprint and the basic things of what you need to do. I know that there are some women who are working on creating resources and toolkits for how to get these things started. There are so many different ways to be involved in direct action. Yeah, use your powers for good, girls, you know, I mean, and women. So yeah, it was a great time. There will be more. We are coming up, so in August there's the ACLU protest. Also, Kara Dansky is doing something in Philadelphia. I didn't realize this, on the 30th, which is this upcoming Sunday. I am going to try to be there. It's at noon at Liberty Plaza in Philadelphia. They're doing a speaker's corner, a Let Women Speak event. And then there's also the one of the bigger ones is going to be the ACLU. There's another event coming up in let me see if I have it right here. The ACLU event is going to be on August 11th. It's going to be in Washington, D.C., and it's protesting the American Civil Liberties Union. There's the ACLU's lawsuit, which is what opened up the door to allow trans-identifying males, to allow men to be housed in women's prisons. They are the reason that we now have captive women being terrorized by males. So let's take a look. And then there's another event coming up. There's a Let Women Speak ATX. What does that mean? Austin, Texas. There's Let Women Speak Austin, Texas. Follow me on Twitter because I repost a lot of these flyers. My Twitter is ASTFXX. That's a slightly twisted female XX. So I am ASTFXX. I'm also going to be putting these in the, I'm going to put it in a pinned comment. That's me on Twitter. So follow my feed. I repost a lot of these things. Anybody that I follow a lot of accounts that do this sort of stuff. Follow me so that you can be in the know. And then anybody who has an event and wants me to help publicize, if you have an event and you need somebody, a channel to live stream it to, please contact me. I'm happy to host and live stream anybody's events. I would love to do that. I'm there, so hit me up. And yeah, there's so many ways to get involved in direct action. Please do not think that you need to be qualified in some special way, that, this is some sort of like an in-group. These groups are for adult human females who understand reality. That's the requirement, that you're an adult human female or you're an adult human male who's willing to be a quiet supporter. Men, are really there to be neither heard nor seen, just, there to hold the line and seen enough that to, keep us safe and to create a strong presence. You know what I mean? And the men who, in my experience, who have showed up for us have been phenomenal at doing that. Men, we need you to not escalate. You want to be involved, we would love to have you involved, but you don't try to take over. You just sort of really hold the line and just stand there for us. Be there for us. A quiet, powerful force. You don't put your hands on them. You don't escalate. You don't go back and forth. It is a powerful statement when we just stand there in our strength and women are trying to speak and they try to attack and shut us up. That says enough for a lot of people. So yeah. And then also the Austin, Texas thing. Let's see. Austin, Texas. It's called Let Women Speak Austin, Texas. We won't be canceled. It's featuring Megan Murphy, Kay Yang, Amy Souza, A Swags, Prisha Mosley, Tracy Shannon, Michelle Evans, Isabella Malbin, Mary Lou Singleton, and many more. Women fighting back against female erasure in language and law. VIP TERF meet and greet after. That's on August 12th. Oh, okay, so that's the day after. And then, let's see. And then let me just get Jennifer Thomas. Oh, and then for anybody who's asking about t-shirts, Jennifer Thomas. Jennifer Thomas is where I get all my t-shirts. She is great. She comes up with really cool t-shirts that are fun. Some are serious, some are silly. She's a really, really great resource for that. So, yeah, she's the one who does like the Get Men Out, the TERF in USA shirts. Her, Jay Thomas's Rev Femme Street Beat. Let me put that down. I'm going to put all of these in the chat. But Rev Femme Street Beat. This is all on Twitter, okay? Look. Rev Femme Street Beat. That's Jay Thomas. Yeah, I'll write Jay Thomas. Jennifer Thomas. And I have a video that features her. Okay, J. Thomas, Rev Femme Street Beat. So if you're interested in t-shirts, she's a great source. She's based in the U.S. And anybody who has anything else that they, want to offer, let us know. I want to try to put together like a place that has resources that show, who to contact and where to go for a lot of this stuff. Oh, and then this is on July 30th. Okay, this is WDI Women's Declaration International. That's Kara Dansky's organization. She has an international organization. So she's doing Gender Abolition Tour 2023, and then she will be in Philly in the People's Plaza July 30th at noon. To participate in her nonviolent action, you email info@womensdeclaration-usa.com. Femax News. I'm gonna get all these links. Okay, so yeah. Does that mean Twitter is a dead name? Oh, Twitter's X now? Oh, yeah, they said they were getting rid of, whatever. They're like changing all that kind of crap. I don't know. I can't keep up. All right, guys. I love you. I love you guys. I'm out of here. I'm going to start trying to, make some new videos and content. I know I've been kind of, not making a ton of content, but just know that channel is always still going, even if I'm like, falling back for, personal reasons, things like that. But all right, girl, ladies, and any gentlemen, I will see you guys later. Keep on turfing USA, and reach out if you need anything. Anybody who would like to support the movement that would allow me to keep going. Whenever you guys send me donations, it really means a lot. It really is why I'm able to continue doing these things. I don't have the money to take everything out of pocket, with my kids and stuff like that. So anybody who donates, it goes to me being able to afford lodging and food and gas, and I, spend money on supplies and things like that. So, it really, really does help, and it allows me to continue to do the work that I'm doing. So if you like what we're doing and you want to support all of my Cash App is a slightly twisted XX. PayPal is a slightly twisted female at gmail.com. Venmo is at a slightly twisted female, and it really, really does help. It's expensive to go to New York. I had to spend all this money on parking. So anybody who wants to throw me a couple dollars, that would be really, really appreciated. Alrighty, All right, I love you guys. I'm out of here. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.